Whoa! Ooh, 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 ooh.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to That'll Beat $8, the podcast, aka the Black Awareness Rally podcast. You could be rocking with anybody else in the world right now, but you are here with us. And for that, we do appreciate you. It's your man Pledge alongside my main man B.
You know me.
And we welcome all of you guys to the discussion. It's That'll Be $8 after dark. It's the That'll Be $8 Quiet Storm edition.
No.
I'm saying, man,
I don't want that
it's
smoke.
a different energy, man.
I don't want that kind of smoke.
Energy. You don't want that kind of smoke?
No, I don't want to talk about women.
Saying, I'm saying it's the Keith Sweat edition of the That'll Be $8 podcast. I'm saying we normally do this during the day or early in the afternoon, but it's the nighttime because it's the right time.
Nighttime is the right time. That's how you feel.
With the homies that you love. You know what I'm saying? So we welcome all of y'all to the discussion.
Nighttime is the right time.
I'm saying if you listen to this during the day, that's too bad. You don't feel this night energy, but it's all good.
Oh, somebody on one, huh? Why? You see that? Let me know what you think of that Goody Mob verse. Coronavirus. But Yeah, man. My bad, man. I couldn't get my computer to come on until like 1:15, dude. It just would not come on. It was not with it today. So I don't think I'm gonna have this laptop much longer. Can you say stimulus check?
You've been doing too much good work over the last couple of months, brother. You on somebody's radar.
Hey, it ain't that. I done burnt the laptop out. It's like trying to carry me up the stairs on Princeton back. It just ain't happening.
That's what they want you to believe.
Oh, that's what you think it is?
You doing too much good work out here in these streets, brother.
I was like, yo, my baby, she
They're
burnt
like, how
out.
can we get to him? How can we keep him from spreading the word?
I guess so, because they ain't gonna like what I got to say today. The boule finna come at me, boy. Finna come after me. What up, Konika? Yeah, man. So, yeah, that's what happened. That's why we was MIA today. Well, earlier today, I should say. But yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Black Awareness Rally brought to you. Hey man, Waleed, send me the graphic of international cuts, dog. Trying to pub here, buddy. You getting in the way. Help us out. Well, no, international cuts. It's the international traditional spelling cuts with a K. And then we promoting that. If you need a haircut, show up to my boy Waleed Barber. I call him Y. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I just made that up. Waleed. Way too many syllables for me. Kind of like to keep it monosyllabic. Then again, monosyllabic ain't a monosyllabic word. Anyway. Yeah, man. Okay. Well, let us know. International cuts. Title sponsor. McDowell's. We got the Big Mick. McDonald's got the Big Mac. They got the Golden Arches. We got the Golden Arcs. You know what I mean? Drive-through still open. Coronavirus ain't stopping nothing.
Nah.
But that don't mean you gonna get no food. So you know what I mean? Show up when you feel like it. Also, the overly talented, underly appreciated. We're not talking about Tiana Taylor. We talking about Sexual Chocolate and Randy Watson. So it's unfortunate what's happening.
Hey man, y'all get them Christmas streams up, man. Y'all support that brother's Christmas collaboration. You know what I'm saying? It's his first time, stepping out and doing something different. Decided to just provide y'all with some holiday cheer this year. So y'all make sure y'all support that brother in his Christmas endeavor.
You're a trip with this bit, bro. You be catching me off guard every time. I be like, who you talking about? Anyway. Yeah. Do what he said. That's true. True.
Get these streams up.
You know what I mean? Yo, y'all see the new ticker tape tag we got on the joint? Shout out to all the listeners, the viewers. Like, share, subscribe to the podcast page. Let everybody know. Get the likes up. We appreciate y'all for coming in and checking us out. Whether it be live or later on the recordings, we definitely appreciate you. Also, thank you for letting us know that you guys are listening, because that also makes a huge difference as well. Uh, Sometimes we feel like we're
Yeah,
just
and
yelling.
this is the big 4-0, man. Don't leave that out.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
big
yeah,
4-0.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Episode 40. Thank y'all for rocking with us all the way through the pandemic. What we got? What 30 episodes done in the pandemic, or
I believe
25?
so.
But at least 25. So thank y'all for rocking with us, man. This started out as us doing it on Skype, and then we done made it all the way to this little nice
We
setup
done
you
made
see
it
before
all the
us.
way to that'll be $8 after dark. That's how far we done made it, man.
Yeah, stuck with us through a couple name changes and all that. So we appreciate y'all. But let's do it. Let's do it. Black Awareness Rally. Hey, again, thank you for joining us. Like if you can. Like if you can. Like if you can. You can run yours. You can run.
For my arts and entertainment, I'm a start off with there. I mean, I want to give a big shout out to Steph Curry. You know, it was announced this week that Under Armour is kind of giving him the Jordan treatment of kind of giving him his own line and things of that nature. And it's great. It's not just great for Steph Curry, but I think it's great for all athletes to be able to kind of control their brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though they're working with these powerful companies like Under Armour and Nike, it's great when athletes can come and kind of get their own segment of the company. The great thing about Steph Curry is that, you know, in signing this deal with Under Armour, he made sure that there were initiatives to where he can give back, to where he's already working on working with schools and community organizations. There was a park that he fixed up in the Oakland area. He found out that, you know, they were struggling with funding, and he stepped in. And so there's going to be a lot more projects like this now that he has his own kind of brand with Under Armour. And he said that, you know, he wasn't going to sign unless they kind of put that in the contract, unless they give him the freedom to move like that. So I think it's not just big for him, but I do think it's huge for athletes to be able to kind of control the narrative and control how they want to give back and help the community with the help of these large brands that you know, like Under Armour and Nike and things of that nature. So big up to him.
That definitely pushes the needle forward for the culture. Way to go, Steph Curry. Now, we got to ask though. We got to ask. How is that different than Joe Budden not wanting to take the check he got unless he can have certain stipulations as a podcaster? I know we ain't gonna talk about that today, but that just got me to thinking, man. I like how a lot of these creators and athletes, aka the talent, is starting to flex on these corporations. Like, look, you need me. So I appreciate Steph Curry for stepping up and kind of putting them stipulations in there to let people know it ain't all sweet. You know what I mean? I got a little backbone too, so appreciate that, Mr. Curry. Shout out to the actor sibling duo Stephon James and Shamir Anderson and their launch of the Black Academy to celebrate black talent. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, Stephon James, excuse me, all that laughing got my nose running now. Stephon James was the actor that was co-starring with Chadwick Boseman in the 21 Bridges film. He was the suspect in the movie. So shout out to him and his brother for creating the space for people to get recognition. Apparently it's getting launched in Canada. It's called BLACK. It's an acronym for Building a Legacy in Acting, Cinema, and Knowledge, which was founded in 2016 and meant to honor and celebrate black Canadian talent. So not just Drake, but also, you know, Chaos. And I think without Rampage. Hey, Jarrell, was Rampage? You remember Rampage? Remember the rapper, the Canadian dude from Flip Mode Squad? What was his name? Was it Rampage? Yeah, was it Rampage? Yeah. Yeah, Rampage. Huh? There you go. Rampage, the last Boy Scout. So if you're not one of those two artists, you know what I mean, you certainly have a shot. And look out for these brothers trying to put on for everybody.
Yeah, man, it's major that you know, people are finding a way to pull other people up. You know, I heard an interesting story about when when Chadwick Boseman was at what was it, Howard,
Yeah.
and he was going through the acting program there, and there was this program. I think they were sending kids to London for a semester or something like that,
Okay.
and he didn't have the money for it. But Debbie Allen, I believe, who was there, she reached out to Denzel and was like, "Hey, man, this is super talented kid, who you don't have the funds." And so Denzel put up the dough.
Yeah.
And you see what came about of it, came about of Chadwick Boseman, because he was afforded certain opportunities to expand his knowledge and experience and grow. So it's always great to hear stories like that. And there's no telling who can come out of this Black Academy. So
we need to replace Oprah on the Mount Rushmore with Debbie Allen just for that deed alone. Thank you, Debbie Allen.
That was one deed. I mean, Oprah's done thousands of things like that. So.
Well, listen, if we started counting Debbie Allen's joints, I'm sure we'll come up with 1,000. But anyway,
Debbie Allen, she has touched a lot of people's careers, though. I mean, she's kind of like a behind the scenes mastermind like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy, that when she's been in front of the camera, she's done a good job, but she's almost preferred to be behind the camera of, just connecting the dots and making things happen. So shout out to her. We don't want to take away from anybody here. So
that's right. Put some respect on her name. Thank you. All right.
Until you find out she was in a Tyler Perry movie.
Listen, it's another conversation. We're going to get there. We're going to get there later on today.
All right. We got somebody saying that it wasn't Debbie Allen.
Debbie Allen didn't put Chadwick Boseman on?
Yeah.
We need to verify that. Are we just saying that so she can't replace Oprah? Because I feel like you just got sent here by Oprah to make sure Debbie Allen.
Oh, it was actually Felicia Rashad.
Yeah.
Thank you for that correction. We appreciate that.
That redeemed her. That's right. That outweighs all the Tyler Perry roles she ever played and will play heretofore. Anyway.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. What we got now? We're going to Black Awareness Rally. Contestants. We can go there.
Let's go to the young ladies, to the Miss Black Awareness Rally pageant.
Yes. Go ahead. My bad. I ain't gonna skip.
I want to give a shout out to Miss Dr. Kismika Corbett.
Kismikia.
And this is major on a lot of fronts. The Moderna team, they released a team that was working on the vaccine. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Corbett, of course, is a Black scientist, and she was one of the leads on the Moderna vaccine experiment. And so this is major because not only did we have a sister that was working on something that could, save the world and get us back to normal, but I think it goes a long way in helping Black people to understand how important this vaccine is. Mm-hmm. And, I know I've heard people personally saying that, they're not about this vaccine. They have to see a lot more evidence and a lot more research on it before they themselves take the vaccine. I mean, it was tough to get the vaccine passed because Black people didn't even want to participate in the trials.
Right.
And so the fact that we had a Black scientist that was leading the charge,
Black female scientist,
a Black female scientist that was leading the charge on creating the vaccine,
right?
Hopefully that will go a long way in helping people get more comfortable with participating and taking the vaccine.
Yes.
So that was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight this young lady, because I think it will go a long way in helping to
qualm some of those fears. Yeah, I mean,
and I'll be honest with you. The doctors that I've talked to, the Black doctors that I've talked to, all of them will be like, hopefully I get it first.
Wow.
Because I know some people that are in the hospital that are on the front lines.
Yeah.
That are family members of mine. So, and they will probably be one of the first ones to get it because they are in the hospital, and they have to a person, they have no reservations of getting the vaccine at all. So I know this is probably something we'll dig into probably deeper when the rollout happens or whatever. And I know it's something that we're going to probably hear a lot more about, a lot more dissension about,
Mm-hmm.
of who's going to take it and who's not going to take it and the reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully this sister will go a long way in helping to get more people on board with it. So
Yeah,
shout out to Dr. Corbett.
I call myself trying to do my part and educating folk. But one of my dear friends, Aquana, made a comment on Facebook, and she's like, I feel like I'm trying to force people into taking it. Aquana, if you in the chat, if you're still here with us, man, that's not my intent. I just I kind of want everything to kind of be returned back to normal sooner than later. But I do know some healthcare professionals that are in the hospitals on the front lines that do not want to take it. So it is a very, very polarizing issue, much like politics. But I'm just trying to, like you just did, trying to get a lot of black people to see, hey, man, this one kind of technically was made by a black woman and the people she hired on her team. So, oh, okay. All right. I'm not want to say I'm a bully. But nah, man, just, you know, she a real down to earth sister. She's, I don't know if you guys remember the episode where we had Dr. Simmons on, but Dr. Simmons and her came up together through their doctoral program together. Came up together. But anyway, they came up together. So when he vouched for her, he has a personal relationship with her. And you know, when that brother co-signed, I was like, man, look, that's all I need to know. This brother in the lab every day, all day, touching the virus and trying to figure out how to break it down. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Let's do a better job of amplifying the voices of the black doctors that are in here trying to save the world, because as we saw during the summer, she has a very, very, very hard time being the face of the National Institute of Health and dealing with the racism that comes from that. So, again, she's available on Twitter, Dr. Kizzy, PhD, or I think it's Dr. Kizzy, PhD, or Kizzy, PhD, Kizzy. But anyway, keep it moving. Mine isn't as impactful, but it is also a heartwarming story. Marsai Martin broke the Guinness Book of Records for being the youngest producer. As we close out the chaotic 2020 mess, the shining beacon of hope. Let's see. Yeah, Guinness Book of Records officially announced Marsai Martin, who's 16 years old, and she's in the 2021 edition of the Book of Records as the youngest executive producer in Hollywood. So she earned it at 14, but she's finally going to get in the book. So shout out to her for just getting stuff done and getting recognition for it.
Yeah, and if people don't know who we're referring to the young lady that's in Blackish.
Yes.
She is the girl twin.
Yes.
A lot of people refer to her as the evil one because she plays that role very well in the show.
Very well. She was also in, wasn't it Little with Issa Rae?
Little, yeah. I think that's the one that she got the producing credits for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she was in there with Issa Rae, where she, it was a high power exec who had to be brought down to earth a little bit. So she turned little, and Miss Marsai played her. So yeah, I mean, shout outs to Black excellence, man.
Right.
To be young, gifted, and black. I'm saying it's not just a song, but it's a beautiful thing as well. So
yeah, man, I love it, man. Make you feel good. Warmer than a fireplace fire, but you happen to have burning. I mean, crackling over there, boy. God, boy, it'd be nice to have a little black family to read next to you before you start watching Jingle Jangle.
I've heard some great things about that, man.
You still ain't seen it?
Nah, I still haven't seen it. I'm waiting till we have a kind of a family movie night where all of us can watch it and enjoy it together as a collective unit. So
I got you. Fair enough. We pretty much did the same here. We waited till Thanksgiving till the Victors came up here and joined us for it. So
cool.
Yeah.
It's nice, man.
Yeah, so it's pretty dope. Y'all check that out, man. It's empowering. I know my mom would definitely appreciate it because as a young person growing up in the 60s, she watched a lot of MGM movies and musicals and a lot of dance and choreography, swimming, and different things to kind of entertain folks. And this reminded me a lot of those MGM Golden years, and I know she would definitely appreciate that. So, Mom, if you're listening, or if you got a chance to come back and listen, check it out, Mom. All right, what we got last? Community?
Yes, Community.
Where you at? Where you at?
Mine's going to say the same. Mine's been the same for the last 3 or 4 episodes. Really, shining a spotlight on everything that's happening in Georgia, because we still have 2 elections to win there. So I want to shout out all the good work that you're doing, B, on the ground, and shout out everything that everybody throughout the state is doing, of getting new people registered to vote. I think early voting started because I've seen a couple of my family members in Georgia post their. Has it started yet? Mm-hmm. I saw somebody in my family posting a "I voted" sticker. So I don't know if it was something else.
I'm gonna check that. I don't think it started yet because I know the last day to register is tomorrow. I think it starts on the 14th.
Okay, well I could be completely wrong. Yeah. But anyways, a lot of attention, a lot of effort is being put in to this race, and hopefully, we can continue to bring that home or whatever. So I want to give a shout out to all the people in Georgia that are continuing to put in the work. Your boy 45 came down there yesterday singing that same old song. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. But yeah, continue to keep up the good work.
Right. I don't know. I just kind of had some general stuff. I guess I could share the NAACP, but I want to talk about like the coalition that's working with Stacey Abrams and the celebrities that have come on board with her to kind of get the word out using their varying platforms. I want to shout out to like John Legend, Common, Jermaine Dupri, Ludacris, and some how do we say the Americans that are this color without it being a pejorative term? Not this color, but this color. Okay, I can't think of the term.
White people.
White people. Okay, white people.
Yeah. I mean, we need them to vote too. I mean, it's yeah. You can't do without them. So
right, but shout out to the white folk and the celebrities I just named for putting on a concert for Stacey Abrams' coalition called Fair Fight. I had a chance to view that. It was heartwarming. It was pretty cool to just watch everybody come together and just try to support and try to use what they can to get the word out. So
yeah, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, she started off the versus battle between Jeezy and Gucci Man. So yeah. we trying to do it any way possible. So
gotta win, man. Gotta win. It's very important, everybody. Remember, if you have control of the Senate, aka Democrat or Republican, it allows you to move bills through. And as we've seen with Joe Biden's cabinet picks, it looks like he's trying to keep his word. He got a communications team that is all women. 3 of them are black women. VP picks for secretary, for Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. She's got a staff that's got 3 black women on it. So the coronavirus task force has 3 people of color, which is headed up by a black woman. So he's definitely trying to signal, hey, guys, I'm trying to keep my word. So we're going to need your help to get those last 2 Senate seats in Georgia to be Democratic so that we can see how far Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are willing to go. So let's do it. Q, what you watch every day? Make sure you vote Republican so we can avoid the end of the world. Wiley got jokes. All right, man. Let's get to it, man. Let's go. And we got the second cue. Here we go. All right, man. First topic of the week. We have the reaction that we have to Between the World and Me documentary that was on HBO. I know I got a picture of the podcast up. I couldn't find a graphic that I thought was appropriate. But if you guys weren't aware, HBO has released a documentary that has a narration of the book written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And the documentary was very nicely done, very creative. But the reading was woo muy caliente, really emotional. If you guys aren't aware, the book Between the World and Me is the story of Ta-Nehisi Coates' courtship with the mother of his children and his experience growing up as a black man in Baltimore and the things and lessons that he thought were necessary to tell his son and the outcomes of that. And some of the accounts and anecdotes inside the story have a lot to do with police brutality. The players, what you got while you was watching? What you thought while you was watching it?
I mean, one thing, and I kind of touched on this last week, is that just the collection of people that he was able to bring together to for this project. I mean, I think it speaks a lot to where you have people as powerful as they are, or people as popular as they are, that are willing to be a part of this project. I think that says a lot in itself. You know, if you can get people to take time out of their day or out of their schedules to be a part of something like this, they know it's major. Because and so I just thought the collection of people is telling, and the story was an awesome story that one that and I said, when you do it, you bring different people upon it, and they kind of shed different lights on it. I just thought it was beautifully done. Definitely one of the best pieces of art that I've seen this year. So I was moved by it. It was great.
Man, you ain't answered the question, man. How many times you cried?
That's the thing. I mean, I'm
too gangster. Too gangster.
I'm really not moved that way a lot of times.
Oh, I got you.
My boys were born. It was a watershed in. But other than that, man, I'm really not moved. I mean, I feel it though. I'm touched. Oh, I mean, it pulled at my heartstrings though. But yeah, it was great though.
Yeah, I didn't cry either. But I know 2 times I was like, oh, it was a real struggle for you, boy. When Mahershala Ali, that's one of the actors from the Moonlight film, was doing his part, and my dog just started like shedding real tears.
Yeah,
because he had to switch out, a couple of the words to address his daughter, and that Prince Carmen Jones story, man, that just was real sad, dude. Like,
yeah,
I hadn't heard that one.
We talked about it last week. I think that was the part that hit me the most, because you have America's mom speaking from the perspective of a mom. So I mean, that's kind of the one that hit me the hardest there.
Yeah, man, I just it was pretty tough, man. But I was very, very, very inspired to do more graphic design because of the graphic work that they did, the different types of art that they incorporated, and I want to go to Howard University. God damn it!
Dude, I was just about to bring that up. I know that me and you, it's crazy because me and you met at USF,
right?
A PWI,
right?
Well, we've had this conversation several times.
Especially freshman year in beta, me running up and down the hallway screaming HBCU by 06. Anyway, go ahead. So
we've had this conversation several times. And this is the one thing that another thing that kind of stood out to me, is that when he showed the videos from Howard, I was like, man.
That, like, all the variant types of brothers and the descriptions and the sisters and the descriptions and, definitely with the photographs and the video footage. Now, this is the question I guess I want to ask everybody. Do we really appreciate like the different kinds of black that we are? I mean, I know a lot of us still kind of have some trouble dealing with certain kinds, but I always think about this from like the old heads, because I guess it's a tie into the second topic. But like when people be different, or when they come from different places, and does anybody else? Yeah, we met at USF, Waleed. Does anybody else like find themselves being kind of reluctant to meet new black folk? You know what I mean? Like, in certain scenarios, it's kind of sketchy. You're going to clutch your purse just like a white woman would, just like Chris Rock say, I'm scared of niggas too. But when you go to an environment like Howard and you see all these different kinds of black people, how would you receive that, players? Because I feel like USF didn't have the plethora that maybe Howard did.
It's one thing. It's one thing to, no matter where you go, it's going to be different people, different types of black people. The thing is that do they have the freedom to be themselves? And that's one thing that you hear at HBCUs is that they have the freedom and the license to be whatever they are. They're able to express it, and I think that's one thing that people at PWIs may not. That's a freedom or a luxury that they may not get is they don't have that freedom to express it. I think that's why. I mean, I think I can speak for USF while we were there, but I can't speak for all colleges. But I think, we were able to find pockets to where we were kind of able to express ourselves, even though it may not have been as open as people at an HBCU. But, BSU, things of that nature, we were able to find pockets to where we were amongst our people and we were able to be comfortable, even if it was just for, an hour on Tuesday afternoons at a BSU meeting, but it wasn't the 24/7 experience I think that you get at a HBCU. But I was thinking about that the whole time while I was watching that Howard piece of him showing videos and him talking about going, taking his son back to homecoming and things of that nature. I was like, man, that's like makes you think if you might have missed out on something.
Yo, I don't know if you saw it. Kendrell said he didn't want to go to an HBCU until he worked for one. They have a bond that he did not have at USF. Listen, man, I see that a lot on net. I see a lot of people talking about, like, man, put it this way. Guys, if you've ever been to a Florida Classic game or a FAMU homecoming or Bethune homecoming, what was that like for everybody? Because I know that tailgating experience and the experience around the game is unlike anything that I've been able to see at USF. I mean, like you said, USF, it's a lot smaller when it comes in terms of African American culture, but it's just different. Like, I remember the first time going to Classic with you and your family, man, and I was just like, it just felt warm. Like, you still got the same problems, but it just felt warm. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't had no particular drama, but those are the kind of events I kind of look forward to being a black person. And oddly enough, I haven't had the amount of chances I would like being here in Atlanta due to the coronavirus. So, you know what I mean? Can't wait till we get a chance to see all of that again. Let's see. What you think, though? Oh, yeah, T.O., what you did your first year at FAM, right? First year at FAM, then came over to USF? He can give you a first-hand account. Let's say USF was 50-50 men to women ratio when he was about to apply. He was like, nah. So the ratio turned you down. Why? Drug says he does love USF. It gave him opportunities that he is thankful for. Same here, man. There's some relationships that I have from USF that I wouldn't trade for nothing. But oh boy, some of the experiences at these HBCUs. Apparently you can't get them nowhere else. They just have a big attendance for the Battle of the Bands as the actual game. It was fire watching how big deal it was. Yeah, man, that's a special culture, man, that was portrayed very well in the documentary. Now, having said that, remember the piece we was talking about, when he left Baltimore and made it up to DC and felt like it was more of an affirmation of being a black person?
Yes.
Yeah, black was the thing to be, even amongst the staff at FAMU. It looks like it, man. But it sucks having to leave that and go somewhere like New York and still not being appreciated as a black man. So what'd you think about that part when he was talking about his hey guys, we got spoiler alert. If you ain't seen it, if you ain't read the book, forgive us. But we just want to touch on this real quick. We're gonna move on to our second topic, which is gonna be a lot more engaging than this in about 5 minutes. But what you thought about that, man, with the New York not feeling as warm as Howard University did?
I mean, I can definitely see how that happened. I mean, New York's a big city, and that's the thing. I mean, it's nothing wrong with a little bit of struggle. I mean, I'm pretty sure that those tough times are what helped mold him to what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I think it's a testament to him. I don't think it's a knock on New York or a downfall at all. Hey, he had to struggle. He had to find his voice. He had to work through some things. I think that people either I think a lot of people would leave that part out, but I think it's important that he left that part in. So
Mm-hmm.
he let people know that, hey, it's not always going to be easy or whatever, but we got to find a way to make it through. Especially when he had his son, that's when he kind of had to hustle even harder
Right.
because he knew he had an additional responsibility. So I thought I was not surprised by that part. But I thought it was, him kind of being vulnerable and sharing that. I thought it was major because I think that's what a lot of people go to New York and think it's going to be,
A
the,
love
the place
fest.
where everybody's dreams come true. But we know that that's not the case. So, um, but I think it molded him into what he is today. So,
Yeah, man, that experience with his son definitely. How would you have handled? So, guys, there's a instance where a white lady pushed his son over, who was like what 4 at the time, and she pushed him over like, as a black person, you should know to stay away from my whiteness, especially my physical space. And the white lady pushed his son over, and he says that it took a lot out of him not to like raise up on her the way he
yeah.
would have had to in Baltimore. What'd you think of that as a parent, man? Because I don't know what I would have done in that
Yeah.
scenario.
It's very tough, and the thing that he pointed out was that there was other people around,
Jumping
and
in to
as
help
opposed
her.
that jumped in to help her,
Right.
that wasn't like, hey lady, you're wrong or whatever, but they came to her defense or whatever. So he felt helpless in that situation. And he said that even when he got home, he felt bad because he felt like he couldn't do anything to take care of the thing that's the most precious to him.
Damn.
And I think that people don't feel, don't understand how tough of a feeling that is. When somebody's put in that situation, it's not just one instance. It's you question your whole identity as a human being, as a
Mm-hmm.
man,
Mm-hmm.
as somebody who's supposed to protect your family. It causes you to question all of that, and he did a good job of of helping the audience feel what he felt in that situation.
Right.
And I don't know. I know how I feel about me and mine, and it's definitely it's definitely crazy, to think of, man, if I'm in a situation, knowing the demographics of my neighborhood and how no matter what, I'm gonna be, outman or whatever. But if something were like that to happen or whatever, how would I respond?
Hey, to the
And
parent. Oh, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, it just made me think because I was like, we got a couple folk in the chat that are parents. How would you guys have handled a situation where a white person shoved your child down and said, "Get out of the way"? And when you went to confront that white person, a crowd of other white people ganged up on you and said, "We should have you arrested." And I think then the one white guy was like about to shove him or something like that.
Yeah.
I think you said he was about to push him. How would you guys handle that as parents? Like, that certainly can have a lot of racial undertones, but what would you as a black parent do if you were in that situation with your child? He was obviously defenseless against an adult woman. How would you guys handle that situation, especially with a crowd gathering?
Yeah, and I think the first thing I would say is that you definitely know you can't put your hands on the woman in that situation. So people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fire off on a lady." That's just, to me, that's just completely thrown out of the window or whatever, because you know just the situation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But and that was, I would like to say that was 15 years ago, and we won't have to worry about that now. But we both see that it's probably worse now than it was then. I'm saying
Yeah, yeah.
so. So but it's just I don't want to say it's your worst fear as a parent, but it's definitely up there, of you being in a situation to where somebody hurts your child and you feel powerless to do anything about it.
I don't know, man. I got asked this week just in terms of how I would behave as a parent when the time comes, or if the time came. There was something as kind of simple as your 3-year-old has to go to the restroom, and you're a dad and she's a daughter, and choosing which restroom to go in because men's restrooms don't have the baby changing station.
Well, now they have a majority of places have family restrooms.
Okay. But
so to kind
in that
of
rare occasion that you don't,
to help alleviate that that conundrum that
Yeah.
people combine themselves in.
So let's see. We have a couple parents responding in the chat thread. Quenica says, "I will pop off and flip off the deep end. I have no understanding when it comes to my kids." Listen, nobody's gonna argue with the mama over her kids. Corner said that's problematic for me. Anyone physically intimidate my kid. I find, just my perspective, I think I would feel the same way as you guys. So
let's pose a question. I mean, do women have a little bit more liberty in these situations than men do?
Oh, okay. So you're saying in that specific situation?
I'm pretty sure I would feel. This may sound crazy,
okay,
but I would feel more comfortable with my wife addressing a situation like this than I would. And it's not that I'm not trying to protect my own, but I just think that it becomes
she's a woman and you're a man.
It becomes man versus woman, and I think it would be looked at different if it's woman versus woman.
I can get with that. I can see that. Ladies, do you think you guys have a different set of privileges being women, dealing with a woman having that conflict? Because Lord Jesus, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I've had my encounters with white women before, and it's always been they were the aggressors, and I was able to kind of sidestep their microaggressions at the time. So that was a lot different than me having to protect somebody. So yeah, that's tough. But ladies, if y'all got any input on that and want to share that, any of the listeners, if you have any input on that, how would you guys deal with a woman physically pushing your kid down as a woman? Because both players and I agree it would be kind of catch-22 being a man, especially a black one, having to confront a white woman about something like that. But we're gonna move on to topic two.
Now, if her husband's there, me and him, we got to see each other.
Yeah. It's gonna be some smoke in the city.
In sight, huh?
It's gonna be some smoke in the city.
Oh, no doubt about it. He could be somewhere else, but if he just in the vicinity, he gonna have to catch it. So,
man, Waleed said he'd have to be in the situation because whatever he says now may not be accurate. So that's tough, man. That's always tough. Let's get to it, man. Let's go topic 2. This the one that's gonna set the house on fire. Me and Players been going back and forth about this all week. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Remember, man, if you guys got any input on how you would handle that situation as a parent and a white lady pushing your kid down, let us know. Let's go topic 2. All right. The question is, why can't we critique black celebrities? We being black people. Now, background on the conversation me and Players was having. Barack Obama this week, well, it was last Friday, he was doing an interview and he mentioned the phrase defund the police. And that's been a hot button topic since the election results came, since the protests for George Floyd. And Barack Obama said, you would lose some people if you use the phrase defund the police. But if you were talking about, police reform, fair policing, and those different things, you would be more apt to get legislation done and have more people support your agenda. But saying things like defund the police would probably fall on deaf ears because the term just sounds really scary to some folk. And Pledge and I disagreed about it. We agreed that, basically what he said is true because some people are going to be turned off by the phrase, and you probably going to have to, do a lot of wordsmith stuff to get that done, to get the same exact goals done. But I was like, man, I felt like Barack was wrong for stepping in that. I feel like he didn't have to say that. The question didn't ask him what did he think about defund the police as a slogan. So I kind of feel like, yo, Barry, you could have said everything else and left that defund the police part out. So Pledge said, man, put some respect on the OG, and then we went back and forth with some data and some articles, but eventually came down to this. Why I can't talk about some of y'all favorite celebrities? I can't say nothing bad about Oprah. I can't say nothing bad about Barack Obama. Apparently, I can't say nothing bad about Ice Cube now. Can't say nothing bad about Mary J. Blige. Who else we can't talk about? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry got that same. Tyler Perry get that same treatment and status. There's a group of celebrities Drill calls God status that if you say something remotely critical of them, you might get slapped. Where'd that come from, dog?
Oh man, I have no problem with people criticizing specific acts that somebody does or something specific that somebody says. I have no problem with that. I think that today's society is that this cancel culture is that we want to dismiss somebody's entire career, somebody's entire life over simple mistakes and mishaps.
Why? Well, let's keep it limited to our conversation because we both agree that cancel culture stuff is kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you short of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby with your deeds, it's gonna be real hard for me to kind of cancel you, like cancel, you know what I mean? But when it comes to stuff like Oprah only putting out documentaries on black men when it comes to allegations, or Barack Obama saying don't say to defund the police, or going to Flint, Michigan and drinking the water, talking about the water's fine, everybody should be able to drink it, or in his new book calling Henry Louis Gates brilliant, but he basically called him an uppity Negro and shouldn't have talked to the cop that way. So I'm like, damn, Barack, like, bro, again, as a man, impeccable, all of that. But your political stuff, I'd be like, come on, dog. It's a couple missteps. And I'm like, man, you gotta chill out with that one. And so why can't I critique just those kinds of things? Like, I still see all the work Oprah's done for the community. It's awesome. I still see all the work Tyler Perry's done for the community. It's awesome, but his movies make us look like ass. Why I can't say Tyler made better movies? Why I can't say that?
I just think there has to be that balance, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't agree with absolutely everything that Barack Obama has done.
Politically,
I will stand by his track record, in the credibility that he's built up. Mm-hmm. And even if he does something that I don't agree with, I'll be like, man, that may not have been a good move. But he still has accomplished everything, and I'm still going to give him, still going to hold him in a high esteem. So
can we not critique people that we hold in high esteem?
What's that?
Can we not critique the people we hold in high esteem?
Yeah, we can critique it, but I'm just saying, be like, man, that was messed up. But he's still, that dude though. Like, I don't agree with it, but he's still that dude.
Quanika say, if you sitting at home just running your mouth, you can't talk about nothing. Now, if you making moves, then she'll give you something. I mean, she'll give you a listen. What? So, what you got to be doing, Quanika, for you to be allowed to critique Barack Obama saying, don't say defund the police, when nobody asked him what he thought about the phrase defund the police? How about this? Let's take it a step further. How about this?
I mean, I do agree with that, though, because people with absolutely zero credibility, I mean, and that's one thing that the social media area has done, where it's giving everybody a voice who hasn't earned one. And so I do kind of agree with that, is that you have people that have zero knowledge or zero credibility that are automatically allowed to say whatever it is they want to say and pop off however they want to pop off. And those people get, get attention that they necessarily shouldn't. So
Yeah, Quashina, Sean King did lose 500,000 followers for pointing out the mistakes in that interview. Tyler, thank you for saying that. Tyler Perry does suck, but what I'm saying though, like, so look at it this way, because I'm trying to figure out how we can avoid the pitfall of just blindly following certain people like Oprah and Obama, like Trump supporters follow him. Like, Trump is kind of easy. It's low hanging fruit. He obviously be wrong on a lot of stuff, but to his followers, you can't stop their love and blind loyalty to this man. If Barack Obama or Oprah or Tyler Perry or Ice Cube does something wrong, are we not allowed to say, hey, you shouldn't have did that? We can't do that?
But
even because I got 20 followers on Instagram, I can't say, Barack, dang, dog, you shouldn't have said that. I can't say that.
Here's the thing, though, is that we talk about 45 and his supporters, but it's almost like they keep everything they don't like about him in house. You don't hear them say anything bad about him, and I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but what I'm trying to say is that they at least they're organized in their, hey, we're not going to let anything get out the house or whatever. All the problems that we have with him, we're going to keep them in house.
We in house. This in the house. In the house, I can't even say nothing about it. When I was talking to two friends about what Barack Obama did, and I said something about Oprah during the concert that she co-sponsored with Stacey Adams, niggas was like, don't you say nothing about Oprah. You watch your mouth when you talking about Barack Obama. I was like, dang, dog. I didn't say he was a terrible person. I'm just saying I don't think he should have said that one thing. Why we can't even do that in-house, pledge?
There's a saying, and I shared it with you, and it says that Republicans fall in line and Democrats fall apart.
But we just talking about black folk to black folk. We ain't even talking politically. We talking about.
I'm saying as long as we keep it there, okay. I think we're good.
Okay.
I mean, in another situation where this came up was the Cube incident or whatever.
Right.
I think people like. I can understand people not agreeing with what Cube did because I don't necessarily agree with everything he did or how he did it. But I'm like, all right, he made a mistake or whatever. Let's move on. Let's move forward. And people continue to kind of like drag, kept dragging him on or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I told you, I was like, man, Cube been putting black people on for 3 decades now.
Right. 30
years of Cube putting people on or whatever. And then all of a sudden he make one mishap or whatever, and we're gonna act like he hasn't done anything for us or whatever.
But
and so it's things like that where I think I kind of go to the extreme of kind of defending people because I'm just so against the cancel culture that's prevalent right now.
Yeah, but, I have a problem with that. But what I'm saying, I just want to like scale it back because I don't want to cancel Barack Obama. I don't want to cancel Oprah. You know what I mean? Because that basically you can't do the shit. So don't even try it. But T.O. just asked a great question, and I feel like this is important. What you got to do to have a voice that is allowed to critique the deeds that these God status celebrities do? Like, why I can't tell people that Tyler Perry sucks as a writer and he should let black women write stories about black women? Without somebody going, you can't say nothing about him because he be giving back to the community. And I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with the movies. It's a shitty movie. Why? Why I can't say nothing? Well, how many? Put it this way: do I have to have 1 million, 10 million, 3 million, 40, 50,000 million followers, or do I have to be a billionaire?
You have to have an alternative plan. I think that's what you have to have. I think you have to have say, hey. He is destructive to our people, but I think if we did this, and this is what I'm going to make happen to counteract this, I think that's what people respect. When you say, "Hey, I don't like this, but this is what I'm doing to balance it out or to make things better or whatever," people respect solutions as opposed to just criticism.
Okay, so let's bring everybody into the chat that we had. me and you this week, right? So just because the Barack Obama thing is such a big deal right now, but this happened all the time. This happens all the time, especially with me and my friends. I just go after people because I be like, man, y'all gonna stop following these people blindly. But so me and players was talking about like Barack Obama and the defund the police thing, and we was like getting into the weeds of it, right? And everyone says that defund the police cost a lot of Senate races and congressman, House of Representative races for Democrats. And I was like, it's not true. Where's the stats, right? So players sent me some articles, and I sent players some articles back, right? And so in my critique, just based on what everybody's saying in the chat, in my critique of Barack Obama's view of defund the police as a phrase when talking about police reform, I said that's not true. There's no data to suggest that saying defund the police in your campaign will make you lose an election. And I sent him stuff to counteract that by saying, in fact, when you used defund the police or said stuff like Medicare for all, which we know gets labeled socialist, people did well in the elections. So this one thing that I disagree with Barack Obama on, I was like, duh, you're an old man that's out of touch, bro. That's what I felt. I felt like he was Magic Johnson in 1991 playing against Michael Jordan. What's so bad about letting the new dog on the scene take the game the way he wanted to take it?
Magic Johnson was the MVP of the All-Star game in 1992.
Who cares about that? He lost the finals.
I'm just saying he was.
I'm saying, but the reason I picked that year is because he lost to Jordan in the finals.
He did. I think he was like hurt a little bit.
That did that. That ain't the point. Well, let's take it this way. In 1992, Magic Johnson at the Dream Team tournament leaned over and nudged Larry Bird on the shoulder and was like, yeah, there's a new dog in town. This is league now. We just got to go ahead and let it go, right? And so, that's a famous story, but why can't we talk to the old heads and say, listen, old head, we respect the work you did. We want to stand on your shoulders and so we can see further, but we just feel that this is the best way for us to get stuff done. No disrespect to how you did things, but the climate right now is conducive to us saying something as aggressive as defund the police. Because
I mean, I think that they're still making things happen. I mean, what was Joe Biden's biggest claim in this presidential race? The fact that he was vice president to Barack Obama.
Okay.
James Clyburn, who said the same thing or whatever, Joe Biden was about to drop out of the race until James Clyburn helped him win the primaries in the Carolinas. So these are the two main people saying, hey, let's be smart with the slogans that we're saying or whatever. And these are two people that had a major impact on helping Joe Biden get elected this year. So it's not that their time is done or over and they don't have an impact in the party anymore. They're saying, look here, if we are going to do what's right for the whole party, which is let's win the presidential election, let's win this Senate race or whatever, let's clean things up so that we can appeal to the most amount of people at this time or whatever. So these aren't two guys that are way past their prime or whatever. These are two guys that are still major power players in the party or whatever. And they're saying, look here, for the good of the entire party, which is going to benefit all of us or whatever, let's have a collective, let's collectively agree on what's good for everybody. And I'm going to share a quote from Barack Obama when he was asked this question, or whatever, to give a little bit more context to the interview that you're referring to. Barack Obama said, I'm going to push back
on that.
And I'm going to read this.
And I'm going to push back because I know exactly what you're going to say. These are the last two paragraphs.
He is deciding on if you want to get something done or do you want to feel good amongst the people you already agree with. If you want to get something done in a democracy and in a country as big and diverse as ours, then you've got to be able to meet people where they are at and play the game of addition and not subtraction. That is
some moderate bullshit.
No, it's not.
That's some moderate bullshit.
I mean, because he understands that. He understands that there's a difference between activists and a difference between a politician. An activist can speak to 1-2% of the people. We're
not disagreeing on that.
A politician has to speak to 51% of the people or whatever to get elected. And what that activist wants done cannot get done if they don't have the elected officials in place. So I think he's trying to say, let's work hand in hand or whatever. And hey, I mean, in that interview, he said, "Hey, I am for police reform. I am for getting this corrected or whatever. But in order for us to get the officials in place, we have to appeal to the most amount of people at this time or whatever." And he was saying that this language can turn certain people off.
And again, I agree with everything you just said. I just think it is ignorant, aka he's ignoring the truth and the data. The data is that is not true when it comes to the elections that just happened.
I think somebody who's been elected before.
It's not true.
I think they have access to more data. I mean, you're talking about.
It is not true. It did not happen. It did not happen. They won
elections, so they know what they know.
It did not happen.
Turns people on.
It did not happen. If you look at the South Carolina races where people were running on that moderate bullshit as Democrats, they still lost. And the people that were out here screaming Medicare for all and aggressive police reform, stopping short of defund the police, they won their seats. So they are thinking, again, this is my whole argument. They thinking that the stuff that got them put into power 20, 30 years ago is still effective now. Well, what we're just asking is like, yo, again, we appreciate all the work you did. We're not saying that was in vain. We're just saying the climate has changed. Why can't I use different tactics at this point in the game? Somebody said in the chat that it sounds like we care too much about other people's opinions. Yeah. Because that makes me think of the following statement that Quashina made in response to that from Carl. We ain't even allowed to say nothing about the molesters in our families or in our churches, right? That's the old way of doing stuff. In the last 6 months, maybe even the whole year of 2020, I've seen a lot of people come out in discussion of molestation that happens in black churches. Now, when we was coming up, you knew you couldn't say stuff like that because people would be like, oh, but that's the preacher. Don't bring him down. So what are we saying? We rather lose than to clean up for the future, or we just rather keep losing? Because, we can't say nothing bad about him because 20, 30 years ago, he fed people Thanksgiving turkeys and been doing that every year since. We could still keep feeding people turkeys. We can't let this one thing this dude doing is so egregious. We can't just let that slide. So what I'm asking is why we can't say nothing back? Why we can't push back? We not trying to be disrespectful. We just want to know, dang, Oprah, why you ain't going after the white dude Weinstein as hard as you was going after Richard Simmons? Or dang, Oprah, why you ain't go that hard after why you don't go that hard after women? Like what's up? We ain't saying we hate Oprah. I just say it because it's funny. But I'm just like, yo, why we can't push back on certain God level celebrities? Like, I still like Friday the movie, but I'm gonna tell Q, you a dumbass for what you did back in May. But I still think he should be allowed to help us in the future. I'm just be like, nigga, go sit down and practice. Why we can't do that?
I think we can do that. And as I said, I'm for doing it. As I said, if people do something that I don't agree with, there's no problem with me saying it. As I said, same thing with Q. It was a mistake how he approached the contract with Black America.
Yeah.
That being said, or whatever, is he still good? Has what he's done for the culture heavily outweighed that?
It still stands. Yeah, like Barack Obama was still the first black president ever of America. He's still one of the coolest mofos we've seen on TV that's not an actor. Well, a professional actor. Oprah is still one of the biggest, best at her job. There's no denying her impact. But you not perfect. Why do we have to treat these people like they are infallible and they cannot be touched? I don't think that's healthy. I think that turns us into Trump supporters.
And I wouldn't want to get to that point either, to where we do treat them, like God-like featured people, to where they're untouchable or above
criticism.
reproach.
Yeah, like all we're doing is just construct the criticism. I'm just like, yo, Barack, you wrong on this one, dog. Just this one thing. Like he was wrong by telling black people in Flint, Michigan, it's okay to drink the water. Like he was wrong for not talking about police reform when Skip Gates and that cop that arrested him for mistakenly think he didn't belong in the house that he owned and having that beer summit. Just like he was wrong for going to Morehouse, a commencement speech, and telling black men need to pull their pants up and take care of their babies. Those are four wrong things. Do I hate Barack Obama? No. I'm just saying some of the shit he be doing is fucked up. Some of the stuff Oprah be doing is fucked up.
Yeah, I
Why
mean,
black people won't let you say that? Huh?
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
So, 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 I'm gonna keep saying it. Tyler Perry just trash. Tyler Perry just refused. You know what? I take that back. Can somebody verify that if Tyler Perry, because I think Tyler Perry just hired a writing team. I want to say that because he got a lot of backlash when it was found out that he was the one writing all his movies and wouldn't let anybody else help. Somebody verify that. But let's check these comments out. I agree with Pledge. What y'all talk about appeals to black people. You govern everyone. What work in certain areas, not everywhere. You have to take your picks and pick and choose. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But I don't think that applies to defund the police. Oh, here's the thing I said to players in the chat. If they get mad at defund the police or Medicare for all, they was never on our team in the first place, right? Because think about the minimum wage going up to $15. That's something Joe Biden promised to try to implement. You're gonna get pushback on the minimum wage going up to $15. What's your legitimate beef with making the federal minimum wage $15? Not you, but what on earth could somebody say against paying everybody $15 an hour? That ain't even a livable wage, honestly. But it's just a huge step up. You get what I'm saying? Like, if they're gonna push back to that, they're gonna push back on anything that somebody does that's changing what we're accustomed to doing. And I think Jim Clyburn falls in that category, man. Honestly, because yeah, that's another conversation. But what's up, y'all? Why we can't critique people and have them? My bad. Why we can't critique people and have them?
I think there's a difference between critiquing people's actions and critiquing the person. I think there's a difference, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Is that critique the action, not the person.
Which is what people
like
are doing.
That was messed up what he did or whatever. I mean, as I said, unless they're just out and out just doing people dirty and going against somebody, opposing somebody, and then say, hey, dismiss them as a person or whatever. If they're out here harming other people, but if they're saying things that people don't agree with or whatever, there's always a opportunities for discourse and for people to discuss things, where they see things differently. So.
All right. Well, Quana says she's not sure why people think we have to be closeted with our disagreements. Yeah, that's some messed up stuff, telling people you can't disagree. It's not that we're trying to tear the person down. We just disagree with that one deed. T.O. says Tyler Perry says he's open to hiring black writers. More writers, but he doesn't know if he actually hired any. So that's one of them situations we're gonna have to watch and see what happens with that. Let's see. As long as they put people on and doing for the community, it's okay to have a few bad deeds. So, Christina, you saying you don't agree with that notion that as long as they keep putting people on, we should excuse the bad deeds? That's a different question. So let's ask this pledge. Let's take Bill Cosby for example. Bill Cosby put a lot of people on, right? You can't refute that. But Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby and is sitting in jail for being Bill Cosby. Should we? I guess that's like a really easy example, but should we stop rocking with them? Like, if it turns out that Barack Obama continues to say things that are disparaging to the current social climate, can we say, you know what, Barack, we appreciate your help, but we're going to have to move on from working with you? Can we do that?
No. I mean, I said, unless Barack comes out with something like, unless he comes out to the level of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby or whatever, then he get dismissed. But if there's a difference of opinion, we gotta be bigger people than dismissing somebody because we disagree with what they say. It has to be some actions to where they actually hurt and harm other people or whatever. those are the people that get dismissed or whatever. I mean, anything short of him out and out, helping 45 run for re-election in 2024 or whatever. I mean, something egregious like that. I mean, those are the kind of things that he can get dismissed for. But if he's telling people how to navigate the world of politics or whatever, I think that's something that we have to. I think it's something that we should listen to. I think we should take, the credibility that he's built up. Hey, I've been at the highest level in this political game or whatever. Let me put you up on game as well or whatever. I think it's something that we should that we should listen to. I mean, he's not trying to destroy the party. He's not trying to lead it in the wrong way. He's trying to help. So whether that he is the vice or not or whatever, that's on them.
What we're asking is, if y'all gonna let Mary J. Blige go, trash. If Barack Obama continues to make missteps similar and worse than the one he did, we ain't talking about like rape or violence, right? We ain't talking about that kind of stuff. But he continues to do things that kind of push the movement back or set the movement back. We can't say nothing about it. We can't be like, all right, bro.
That's your opinion. I'm saying, but
I'm saying the political pundits.
That's your opinion. A majority of people agree with what he said, so it can't be anything that's pushing.
That's not a majority.
People agree with them.
There's no majority on that.
I think I think you're using a poor example, because I think it's an example to where he's not the only one saying it. First of all,
I'm saying it's impossible. Not cancel, but like, all right, bro. We appreciate it, but we got to move on from your way of doing things. We can't do that.
No, we can't. We can't use somebody up for the good things, but not accept But just because we have a difference of opinion, automatically dismiss them? No. As I said, he's put on for people for years. What has he done to intentionally harm people?
Okay,
black people?
Tio just said the perfect person. Ben Carson. Ben Carson got the movie, Most Def, all of that stuff.
I mean, he should be looked at as a polarizing figure. I'm pretty sure some black people became surgeons and went to medical school before him.
Okay. So what we're saying now, though,
over the last 4 years or whatever, he's shown his hand or whatever, and so we disagree with him politically. We feel that he did not help us in his political stance.
So what we're saying, are you saying? I
mean, Ben Carson spoke at my brother's college graduation,
and that felt good. It was awesome.
I'm saying, but at the time of whatever, you have a black neurosurgeon or whatever. That's inspiring and uplifting to people. So so we're just supposed to dismiss all of that stuff? No, as I said, I disagree with his political stance.
So this is
I read his book. I did a book report on his book.
Saw the movie.
I watched the movie. I did all that stuff or whatever. Right. I listened to him during my brother's graduation or whatever. So I can't sit here and pretend like at a point in my life or whatever, he wasn't an inspirational figure to me.
Okay, how about this?
As I said, his political stance changed that a little bit or whatever, but it still didn't completely take away from his accomplishments.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then, because people keep lobbing people for you to debunk. Kanye West, he didn't harm anybody. Nobody got harmed. But we got to part ways with Kanye. What do you think?
Who built him up as a political figure, anyways?
No. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking only politics.
Process.
We ain't talking only politics. We talking about in general, just celebrities. That's why I left it to celebrities. He started rocking real heavy with Trump. We was like, all right, bro, we got it. We appreciate all the work you did. You know what I mean? We want the old Kanye back, all that kind of stuff. But we gotta part ways with you, bro. So we can't. There's nothing Barack Obama can do for us to part ways, short of murdering and raping people. That's the only thing that'll get.
A difference of opinion is not going to.
So that means Ben Carson and Kanye should be welcome back, because they didn't do anything to anybody. There was no rape. There was no crimes were committed. We just had a difference of opinion. So you saying we should let Kanye back in the fold?
I'm saying
we should let Ben Carson back in the fold?
Get back in the fold, though.
Huh?
What is he doing to get back in the fold?
So if Ben Carson came out and started doing a bunch of community service, we're supposed to let him back in?
If he's trying to correct what he did wrong,
wow,
why not?
Okay.
If he says, "Hey, man, I was on the wrong side. I picked the wrong team on this one or whatever. My bad." But I'm still like, if I had to have brain surgery, you think I'm gonna say, "Nah, Ben, I don't want you to work on my brain." No, you're the best brain surgeon out there. I need the absolute best. I'm not gonna let my political bias get in the way of you saving my life. Bring your sleeping behind on and let's get it done. I'm saying that's what it's gonna be. Wake up and let's get this brain surgery done. I'm not gonna let just because you see things different politically, your gift and your talent of performing brain surgery or whatever. If I need brain surgery, I want the absolute best brain surgeon. I don't want the absolute best Democratic brain surgeon. I want the best brain surgeon, period.
So you're gonna let Kanye produce your next song because he's the best producer. I got you. So as long as they doing top of the class stuff. We ain't talking about politics. We just talking about what they do.
I'm saying, but the thing is that just because people are good at a certain thing, we automatically give them credibility in something else.
But we're not
Kanye
discussing
West
that.
is a brilliant entertainer,
right? We're not discussing like his political track.
We've given him credibility in the realm of politics. Ben Carson is a brilliant brain surgeon, but we've given him political credence for what? So the joke is partly on us because we give these people credibility in areas where they haven't gained credibility. As I said,
I mean, white people got Ted Nugent now. Let's not act like white people don't do the same thing. He's a guitar player, so they put him in a status that we've let Kanye ascend to. But what I'm saying is, again, long as let's take politics out of it. Let's go to Mary J. Blige, right? Matter of fact, let's go to Letitia Wright. She's a celebrity this weekend that posted, for those of us that are unfamiliar, Letitia Wright was the sister to the Black Panther in the Black Panther film. She was the scientist, right? Her name was Sherry. So this past week, she shared a video that was saying, vaccines are bad and homosexual people are bad and all this crazy stuff. A YouTube video that she put up on her Twitter account, right? And so the internet jumped on her head, and she had has since deactivated all her social media accounts. Now, some people think she might lose her job at Marvel. She ain't commit no crime. She just did something that people was like, why would you do that? Right? Don Cheadle even tried to come to her defense. Was like, hey, y'all, man, get off her. Don't cancel her. And then later on in the day, he was like, oh, crap. I just looked at the video she posted. Jesus Christ. Like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen about vaccines, right? But he was like, I'm still not going to cancel my friend, but I got to talk to her offline about what she did. So we ain't saying she got to get canceled. We just saying, hey, man, that was some dumb shit. Why'd you do that? And that's, basically it, right? We can't even do that?
No, we can do that. I mean, as I said, we can, I have no problem with us, having dialogue and kind of saying, hey, this is cross the bounds, you're wrong on this, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. What I'm trying to say is that, are we going to go back and say, oh man, the work she did in Black Panther was trash? No, we did a good job in Black Panther or whatever.
I'm saying us.
Her personal social stances or whatever are wrong. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
So I can say that Barack Obama and Oprah. Thank you.
Credibility in outside of their space or whatever.
I'm gonna still say Barack is the first black president of America, but I'm gonna say, all right, Barack, about 6 times you did some shit that I don't agree with politically. Like, you said some fucked up shit to a bunch of black men about how they need to pull their pants up and be good daddies. Like, why are you talking about that at the college graduation of the elitist black school for black men in the country? Why is that a conversation that needs to be had? You know what I mean? Like, again, I still pay Barack to come speak, but if Barack start doing shit like that once or twice a year, I'm gonna be like, all right, Barack, I don't know, dog. Go fix whatever you got going on, and then come back and holler at me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, put it like this. Perfect example. If your starting QB, which is Peyton Manning for the Indianapolis Colts, starts underperforming, you gonna leave him in the game because of Super Bowls he won 10 years ago? You gonna leave him in the game?
I'm gonna leave him in the game because he's probably been in that position before and he knows how to get himself out of it.
But we've had 6 weeks. We ain't won no games, but your starting QB is killing our chances. So you think the Colts was wrong for pulling Peyton Manning out of the game and putting in the backup when they did?
No, I'm saying, but look at what Peyton Manning did. The Colts let Peyton Manning go when he had that neck surgery or whatever. And what did he do?
Because he underperformed.
He went to Denver and won another Super Bowl to show the Colts, like, hey, you dismissed me.
But you telling me he should have stayed?
You see, I can still do it.
So you saying he should have stayed the quarterback until he proved he could get back? So you was willing to let your team tank that long before you found out whether the experiment worked?
He haven't won a Super Bowl since, and he won a Super Bowl after they left.
The Broncos. Then they won the next one with Tim Tebow.
The Broncos after he left the Colts. The Colts have not won a Super Bowl since.
So nobody should have ever pulled Peyton Manning out of the game. Ever, never, ever, never.
The Broncos pulled him out or whatever. He retired or whatever. He had a situation where he retired. But what I'm trying to say is that
you believe in grandfather clauses. That would sound like
that's a win-lose situation. It's not a win-lose situation. A lot of times, politics is a win-lose situation. He's trying to say, hey, in this situation or whatever, I've won in this situation. Barack was saying, I've won in this game of politics or whatever. Let me put you up on game on how it actually works.
But if Barack started losing a streak of games, you're going to let Barack keep starting?
I've never, ever won an election.
So you telling me that
if you're going to talk about something, bring some credibility to where somebody has won an election.
So, okay. So
they say have won an election.
Okay. All right. In terms of elections, there's many ways to approach that. But as long as he winning or because he won president twice, everything he says is going to be gold from here on out.
No, I'm not saying everything he's saying is gold. But what I'm trying to say is that this is something he has experience in. This is something he has know-how in. I've never won an election or whatever, so I would defer to his level of knowledge.
Okay, so time out. So we got a couple people saying Barack ain't never lost, and then we saying Barack won by supporting Joe Biden.
Lost an election, but
yes, so Barack supported Hillary Clinton the same way he was supporting Joe Biden. What was the difference? You telling me Jim Clyburn's support and Barack Obama's support made the difference in this election, but not the last one?
It wasn't his support. It was the fact that he worked under him.
I'm just saying, like, what was the difference? You know what I'm saying? Like, Barack did the same thing for Hillary Clinton.
Biden, who worked under the Barack Obama campaign.
Barack did the same thing for Hillary Clinton, and she still lost. I'm just trying to get people to see,
but
Barack is not infallible. That's the problem. Huh?
He never worked for Barack. It added more credibility to the fact that Barack chose Biden to work under him. That added more credibility to Biden because he was chosen to work under Barack.
Listen, man, people borderline cult status with the support of these celebrities. And I'm saying, y'all better stop, because that's the same way Hitler got people to kill and he didn't even request that they do it. That Crystal Night, where the SS Army went over into, I think it was Belgium, and just started tearing up stores in the middle of the night. Hitler ain't asked them to do that. They just was blind supporters of him. And they was like, you know what? Since he don't care about this, he obviously don't care about this neither. All I'm saying is y'all just got to always be on your toes and not be afraid to criticize a celebrity that you'll care about. I feel the same way. Bilal and D'Angelo, favorite singers. But when they put out a trash record, I'm going to say, man, that's a trash record, B. I bought it, but I'm never going to play it. That's a trash record. I'm not above critiquing people that I find to be one of my favorites. Like Tank is one of my favorite singers. I think Tank makes terrible music and hasn't made a good album since the second one, One Man. That's my personal opinion. So it's not that I think he sucks at singing now. I'm just saying he makes crappy music. Ari Lennox had a couple EPs back in 2013, 2012 that I was like, yo, these are banging. I'm going to follow her, and she's a great singer. Man, she started putting out whole projects, and I'm like, yo, these albums suck. So I'm supposed to just forever say because she made a good 2 projects earlier that I have to continuously support what she did? No, it's not a bad analogy, Waleed. So if Barack Obama started coming out saying all niggers are going to jail because they won't pull their pants up, which is what he essentially did at Morehouse, we're going to be like, well, he did win that election, so we're gonna let that one comment. We're gonna ignore that comment.
No, we're gonna say that's a bad comment or whatever. And
that's what people did this week.
And he's wrong for saying it.
That's what people did this week. We're gonna
speak to that situation.
That's what people. Drill. That's yes. It took 2 years, but when he got elected, that's when shit hit the fan. It took him 2 years to get elected, but when he got elected, it was very clear what his intentions were. He ran on the same bullshit Trump ran on in his campaign, and people voluntarily started working with him. So no, it wasn't overnight, but once he became the dictator, it was over. But he wasn't even the dictator. He was elected chancellor. He got elected. So, but maybe y'all stop being blind followers of these people, man, because they did something good back in the day. Like, that's all I'm saying. Watch yourself. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I agree with that.
And Barack Obama's one of those people. You have to be careful of your blind support of Barack Obama. He's not perfect.
I think there are like a lot better examples.
I just picked that one because it happened this week.
Well, I'm saying, but as I said, it's something that I happen to agree with him on. So I think there are a lot better examples that you could use of people not blindly following him.
Ice Cube.
Huh?
Ice Cube.
Yeah, I'm saying.
People got big mad when you said.
Probably a better example because I think a lot more people disagree with that situation than the Barack Obama situation.
I think Barack was wrong. I can name 5 times I think Barack was wrong. Apparently, nobody agrees that he was wrong 5 times in his political career. Not as a man, not as a father, just political stuff. I can name 5 times I think Barack Obama did something wrong politically. That's all I'm saying. Not that I would cancel him.
I don't agree with everything he's done politically either, but I just happen to agree with what he was saying this week.
Right.
I think he gave context behind it as well.
Yeah, and I think he waded in waters that nobody asked him to get into. That's all I'm saying. That's why I think the misstep was.
Constantly asked him to help him win elections.
Nobody asked him what he thought about defund the police in that interview. He just did it on his own. He didn't have to do that. That's all I'm saying. That was a situation that he brought on himself. As smart and as successful and accomplished as he was, that was a rookie mistake. That's all I'm saying. And Jim Clyburn is wrong. Nobody lost because you find me some after November 10th that supports Jim Clyburn. If you find me some data.
Or James Clyburn.
Say what?
However you want to talk, whatever name you want to use for him or whatever.
What?
45 would probably be president again. So.
What? You talking about the
what'd you say? Understand how influential he was in the primaries to help Joe Biden win the nomination.
That's a good thing he did in the past. The thing he did after that, I disagree with.
And he's doing it in the same spirit to continue to help people.
It was
win.
Still a bad thing. I want to help my team win, but me getting mad and throwing the ball in the stands and getting the 15-yard penalty, you think, oh well, he want us to win, so it's okay if he costs us 15-yard penalty? No, it's not okay. Pac-Man Jones wanted to win. I'm just saying it's the same thing. Like, you can have bad plays. And if you have enough bad plays in a short amount of time, I'm going to have to put you on the bench. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That we can't do that as coaches. Let's see. People say he was a community organizer and understands semantics. He could have used better word choice. He could have. And the shit he did in the 60s and the 70s ain't cutting it today. The kids that are organizing right now are saying defund the police. That's all I'm saying. Barack, you did a great job getting here, but what happened this past summer, what is still happening, is defund the police. Oh, and Medicare for all. Trump gladly take all of that and make it socialism. But anyway, we've come to an impasse. We didn't think that we would agree because we know we wouldn't. We didn't agree over the phone, but we want to bring you guys in to see what you thought. You guys are saying Barack is untouchable, but you agree that we can criticize other celebrities. I'm saying nobody's untouchable. That's my stance. Nobody's untouchable.
Nobody said he's untouchable. That's the thing.
Oh, Waleed did. and you. But all right.
Like you try
All
to
right.
slip that one in.
Uh, let's
I
see.
like how you try to slip that one in.
All right. We'll take this offline, fellas. Appreciate everybody for rocking. Hey, thanks for chiming in. We got 142 comments. I appreciate everybody for sharing. Please get the likes up. Please get the likes up. We got 9 people in here. Can we get 9 likes? Please. Can we get 9 likes? So Facebook can promote our junk because it does not want to share things that it thinks people don't want to touch. So guys, could you share it or like it? And we'll see y'all next week.
Thanks for rocking with us. God bless. Peace.